Not a week has passed since the release of the Black Bay 54. That watchfinder, that very cool watch channel, hasn't done a video about it, asking if it's too small. So I'm supposing, as an owner, that I have the right to do another video about it as well, and to reiterate the very first thing I said when I reviewed this within a week of the release, when I bought the watch. And is that the reason why it isn't too small is that the Lug-to-lug, one measurement that everybody loves to talk about, especially watchfinder, is nearly identical, and somehow Andrew Morgan, shout out to you, you do a great job, seems to be ignoring that very obvious fact. The two watches wear from lug to lug pretty much the same. There's about a millimeter of difference. The main difference visually is that while the 58 is, well, now that we can compare, all rounded, the 54, as I said, is more like a cushion shape, more like a vertical, like a rectangle type of shape. And I just can't get enough of looking at the side of this watch, which is very, very, very thin, of course, but also very flat. You have this very flat shape. And the thing is that the lugs, they keep on going and going and going further. They don't round down very early, which gives this sort of cushion shape, this rectangle feel to the look of the watch. And I think that the crown being smaller and you don't see the tube anymore also adds to the great looks of the watch. And we'll talk about the colors in a minute. But if we compare, it's strange that we thought, oh, you can't do better than the 58. It's such a perfect watch. I've worn mine a lot everywhere, especially on holiday and at the beach. There was always just a little thing that bothered me. It was the abuse, I think, of the gilt color, especially putting it on the bezel. I understand Tudor has to be a bit different, and I like the gilt color itself on the dial, and the dials are fairly similar. I think it's a beautiful secondhand that they've put on the Black Bay 54. There's just slight differences. There's a slight sunburst effect, but barely visible on the 54. Maybe slight difference of shade, but it's very, very close. Just a little refinements. Of course, the dial is quite a bit smaller, but they're mainly smaller from left to right, but not top to bottom in terms of the case. But what I like on the 54, if we talk about the colors, is that they went for silver, and it just gives and remove also the very practical 0 to 15 graduations. It just immediately gives a bit more serious look, a bit certainly more vintage look. And they say they don't want to recreate the original 54 model. But at the same time they do, and just add a bit of the modern Tudor look. And actually the vintage ones would look very much like this. So it's not a one-for-one, but they could absolutely do it. And the big question is, could they have done more, or did they just realize later on, oh, we can make it thinner, or we can make it less rounded, flatter, it will look good? I don't really believe so. I suppose this was the best they could come up with, and it was great. It was a huge success. Really lovely watch. But then you see the smaller crown here, the flat case. For me, it's really that. When I look at my wrist, I just love to see this flat case. And the shade, as I said, the shade of the steel is slightly different, a bit more yellow here. Beautiful clasp. I mean, this one is very good, no problem, no adjustment, but I had never any problem. It was always great on the wrist. But wow, this clasp is not yet Rolex level, but visually it is very close to Rolex and very refined there on the shield. I had to add a half link from a third party because I made a whole video about it, so there's no point redoing the whole story here. I was just all the way out or all the way in, so now it's just a bit better, and it would be silly not to do this video without putting it on the wrist. You know, I'm a tall guy. I have 17 centimeter wrists, but there you go. It just fills my wrist great, but I love to have just a smaller size left to right. And of course, you're wearing the bracelet, so the bracelet also, you know, fills the wrist as well. So no, it is not too small. So stop making videos about, is the 54 too small? No, I think it's the most amazing watch that they've done so far. And just look how cool it looks. Just so flat. I just love this. I can't get enough of this watch. And because the bezel now, the bezel was kind of, yeah, it's black and then faded on the dial. But here it's still black with a faded dial, but because the bezel doesn't has that gray color now for the markings, it kind of works better with clothes, especially a black belt. I find than this one, which would clash a little bit. This one you can wear all the time, everywhere, same specs, 200 meters of water resistance. It just wears amazing. And just to prove the first point that I was making, you can see that, yeah, now this one looks huge, right? It's strange. But Lug-to-lug is the same thing, but it just looks so rounded. Needlessly so, and it pains me to say it because I've loved this watch so much, but now that you can see that they can do something better, you have to admit that they've outdone themselves, and I'm sure some people will still prefer this one. A lot of people say, oh, I need the red triangle. I personally don't. I like the absence of flourishes, or at least less flourishes on the 54. But yeah, look, it's just so flat and more angular. Oh, man, I just can't get enough of it. So let me know what you think, guys. I hope I'm expressing something that the other channels who own or don't own the watch, some just still talk about pictures, have not managed to express to me. This wears also very different from any other watch on the market because of those reasons, and it is a must-have. It is a must-have. Great performing movement. Let's shake it a bit, get it going to say goodbye. I'm gonna have to wind it and wear it all day today after making this video. Here we go. Well, there you go, Andrew. I don't know if you will see this. You're probably very busy with your big channel, but just check out the Lug-to-lug. This one, I've done this before, but okay, why not do it again? Is 46, and that one here is 47 and a little bit, so just 1 millimeter. There you go. Black Bay 54. Perfect until they make it more perfecter. Bye bye, guys.